In the Christian world, why do people go to church on Sunday? The Bible, if that's the book that we use to determine what God wants, the book that tells us that there's a specific day chosen by God for us to honor and obey as a Sabbath rest and day to worship Him. Most people know that. Most of us agree. We've all heard of the Sabbath. We know that it's a day, like go to church and honor God. And the last thing that we want to do is upset God, especially as we're trying to do the exact opposite of that by showing Him how much we love Him by going to see Him on the day that He set aside for us. The Bible also says that if we don't keep the day holy, the day which God sets aside for us to worship Him, the consequences are severe. For people who know that God wants us to worship Him on a specific day and they refuse to do it, it doesn't end well. So with something so important, would God make it absolutely clear what day is His, or would He leave it to us to just, kind of figure it out for ourselves with no real answer? Does that sound like a loving Father? Who would do that? For generations, the Sabbath day has been ignored or deemed unnecessary. For some, the comment is made that it doesn't really matter what day we worship Him. For others, they say that it's impossible to know which day is the Lord's day or the seventh day because just too much time has passed since mankind began. And if a change was ever made to do away with the Sabbath, would there not be irrefutable evidence from God Himself with the same care, the concern from God in which He declared its significance? I mean, He made it sound really important that we do it. And then if He makes a change, why not just make it so clear for us that we don't accidentally make a mistake? Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, forever. We know that. His law doesn't change. It can be amplified or magnified, but there will never be a time to just disregard His law. So if that's the case, does it make sense that the Creator would command human beings to remember a particular day and then keep that day holy, but not make sure to preserve the knowledge of what day that is? In Exodus, we're told to remember the Sabbath day. Keep it holy. The seventh day is the Sabbath of the eternal your God. In the Bible, again, God clearly blessed the seventh day. He sanctified it. He just sets it apart. He demonstrated His favor toward that day. He consecrated it, and it made the seventh day as something totally separate, sacred, an actual holy day of the week. There's never been a time in the history of mankind where we have lost track of the days of the week. We've always known the order. Day 1 through day 7, Sunday through Saturday. Even at the times in history when calendar changes have been made, they never affected the days of the week. So it's interesting to find ourselves with these kinds of questions. In over 30 languages, the common word for the seventh day of the week is some form of Sabbath. Like in Spanish, it's sábado or sábado. I don't know. I don't have an accent. Sunday received its name as a day to worship the sun god. If the Sabbath was created by God, if the Sabbath was of critical importance, if the Sabbath was observed by His people, by Jesus Christ Himself, by His disciples, by the apostles, should that be something we make a priority today?